love to hear your story.
Okay. Let me start by saying I owed amazing thanks to Bill Downs for being a part of that process of first started with my feet. Now I already have that testimony down, and then it went to my arteries, and I was out. I was out shoveling snow. That is after 4 or 5 weeks of taking Prodovite, and in 10-degree weather, I was, and for like an I don't know, hour and a half, and I came back home, and I shoveled another half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and I went in the house, and I just started weeping, and my wife's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I'm so happy." It was just amazing. I felt rejuvenated, where before, if I would have tried attempted that, I can't say that I would have even made it through that process, much less even attempted it. But now I'm looking forward to shoveling snow every time it snows.
Well, Mark, fabulous, Mark. Mark, tell us what happened to make you so happy. What was the situation that you were in that allowed you to get happy after taking the product?
Well, in 2004, I had a stent, and it just came from bad eating habits, and I guess a little bit of stress in my life, and just my arteries was like 95% blocked, my main aorta, and so I had 2 episodes. I didn't have a heart attack, but my both arms had stiffened up, and my chest had, felt like a rope was tied around each one of my cells, all the way in my chest area and my arms, and somebody was twisting that rope, and it just froze. I just froze. We were coming home from the zoo. I was just walking out to get in the car ahead of everybody else so I could go pick them up, and that's when it happened the first time. Second time, I was in Wilmington going up this slow, great hill towards the courthouse there. I had some issues there that, I was doing some sheriff's cell housing for people, and so anyway, same thing happened, and so I called the pastor, and he goes, "Well, just go to the ER, and they'll check you out." And he knew what it was because he had one. It was a stent. So through the years, 6 weeks after having the stent, I told the doctor, the guy, the surgical doctor that did the stent, that I was going all natural, and that I was going to drop all meds, and I did. But that's after that first 6 weeks of doing some research on it, and so I was able to, through cayenne pepper and different other avenues, to go all natural, not to have to take the poison and stuff that they were trying to pump me with, and he was extremely upset about it because he was trained in that field, and I don't blame him. I'm just, he just didn't think I was going to live over a year or two. So here I am. Was it 14? It's like 10 years now. In September, it'll be 10 years. And it was, as I was coming out of the hospital, Clinton was going in for the same thing, President Clinton. Anyway, so that, that brought me to a point where, through natural means, and I went to the best people that I knew, doctors, not medical doctors, natural doctors, to get, the right combination of whatever to make me feel good for a while, but it was so expensive, I couldn't, like I'd go through good times and bad times in my business just like anybody else, and here, when I found this product, I just started taking it like, 2 or 3 capsules a day the first week, about 3 capsules the first week and down to 2 because I started getting that same feeling in my chest because it was getting rid of that stuff too fast. So I just went down to 2 for the next week, and then I went back up to 3 and even 4 the third week. And because it started clearing up, I could feel it. So, and after the 4th week, it just opened up. I mean, just completely. In fact, I was taking cayenne pepper during that time, but after about the 3rd or 4th week, I could feel I didn't need it anymore. I was getting heartburn, and it was too much. My blood was getting too thin, so I just went down to 1. And after a couple more weeks, I went down to 0. So I'm for a couple weeks now, haven't had any cayenne pepper at all. So
wow, what a story, Mark! That was really impressive what you've been through. Bill, Steve, how do you feel listening to Mark?
Oh,
yeah. Hi, Pauline. Just hang on one second, hon.
yeah. Said the call did not go through when I dialed.
It's okay. You're here now, so hold on one second. You know, I've spoken to Mark a number of times and was privileged to talk to him a few times through the changes that the product was making, and just hear his incredible excitement and relief and his sincerity and his desire to help other people achieve some of the same benefits. And again, it's just a privilege to be a part of such a remarkable improvement in health. And I'm just, you know, I lose the ability to express anything other than just complete awe and how wonderful the body is when its ability to improve itself when it's just given really great raw materials. And so I want to thank Mark for his continued perseverance and support for our mission and what we want to accomplish.
And Mark, this is Paul. It was a pleasure meeting you when I was in Pennsylvania, and thank you for sharing, my friend. It was really very, very profound for everybody there and tonight as well. So thank you, Mark.
He put on,
absolutely.
Yeah, he put on that last meeting, but the meeting that we had at the One Fire. It was Mark that put that together.
Fabulous. That was a great
I just want to point out, this is Steve. Number one, it's a great story, and it's wonderful to know that Mark's been helped so much, and he's helping himself. What I find very interesting is 2 things he mentioned, is that he found he had to cut back at certain times because his body was cleansing or healing itself too fast, and he had to kind of temper that. But the bigger picture there is that he was working with himself. He became his own best steward on health, and I think that's what a lot of people forget about until it gets to the point where they need the help. And this is another case of where he decided he was going to take care and responsibility for his own health and, you know, be firsthand with this, and that the Prodovite was one of the main tools, hopefully, that allowed him to regain his health and feeling well. So it's a pretty cool story, but it's very indicative of what happens when you actually start to take care of yourself, too.
Right.
Great. Thank you, Steve. And again, thank you, Mark.